Let's get it. It's an Eternal Underground production. So shout out in the zone, baby. Y'all know what it is, man. You're now tuned in to the Hodge Podge Sports Show with a picks on target sharper than Katniss 17 with a crossbow. Before you place a bet, better check with Patrick and Sean first. Unless your aim is that, highly advised. Check the clause right first. Forget them other stations, we got you covered. Don't waste your time. Ain't no need to straddle the fence. Now you can take a side with competition where you think a gazelle can take a line. If you in opposition, just listen, or it will change your mind. So you catch him right here. And every show a finger like Ray Lewis at the quarterback. Got open forms, you gotta stop it or we'll address it. But don't come on here talking that nonsense and don't know nothing. No hesitation, get put in your place. End the discussion. Ain't no sugarcoating over here, keep it 100. Got a question? We gon' come with the answer like Irish. If you ain't know then, you know now just who time it is. I'm Sean, reppin' the city of brotherly love. Stand up, Super Bowl 52 champions. Baltimore in the building. Make some noise for his pack. Got Charm City on his back. Putting on for the like Cal Ripken Jr. back with the Orioles. And he's full rebound the dollars. Too much knowledge for these college. Go to follow. Shout out to you. Without you, this ain't possible. You rock with us, we rock with you. I love us, I love for you. Much love to the fan page and follow the fan page. It's deeper than sports talk. It's something like family. Ever and be more. Let's get you a crab cake. Oh, you in Philly, say let's scratch you a cheesecake. Now run and tell the sports fanatics that you know online. www.ngscsports.com. I'm saying that again one more time. That's www.ngscsports.com. Yeah, y'all know what time it is, man. HPS time it is. Let's get it. Let's get it. You tuned in. Or reach. Cause sports breed passion. Ain't no better place to let it out than NGSC Sports, where we never stop. Never stop. Never stop. Never stop. Never stop.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy from the 215, Mr. Philadelphia himself, Sean Harrison. And with me, as always, is my main man from Baltimore, Maryland, Patrick Hodge. Already laughing at me. How you doing, Patrick? How you feeling tonight, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. How's it going?
Oh, man, I'm living that baseball lifestyle right now. That 3-sport, 1 kid, 2 kids playing 4 sports combined right now. I got nothing but busy weekends in my future with a lot of baseball fields in front of me, and somehow I got a soccer field in front of me today as well, man. It's stressful, man. We did catch like so on Saturday. We got at the baseball field at 8:00 and stayed at the baseball field until 4 o'clock. We didn't walk in the door until about 4:10, 4:15. Today, we got at the baseball field at 8:00. I'm sorry, at 9:15, and didn't get home from the soccer field until 5 o'clock. We did 2 full work days just for our kids to play some sports, right? Well, that's what we do as parents, right? We make sure that we keep the kids happy.
Yeah. That's some long days right there. I saw the picture with the uniforms on the baseball field.
It's baseball season, boys, right? How was your weekend, man? Before we really dive into this, what was a day in the life of Patrick Hodge this weekend?
It was good. It was good, man. We went out and we did our part to continue to stay safe. We got our first vaccines on Friday. So that had us hurting a little bit the next day. Arms were a little sore. Other than that, we just been kind of hanging out and relaxing a little bit, watching some baseball, doing what we can do. Pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good weekend. Just nice and relaxing.
That's all you can do. Before we get started, let me drop this real quick. Yeah. This is the Hodge Podge Sports Show. It is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website, arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? So, boys and girls, today we are going to be talking about the MLB and some teams with rocky starts. And I also want to talk about load management and as if it's ruining the NBA. We also have a special contest we're running, and I want Patrick Hodge and special guest tonight, Kevin Dixon, who's also on the line with us, to explain that a little bit later. I know Kevin said he's good to rock with us. I believe he said that earlier. I want to talk about the 2 topics I have, and then probably around 9:20, 9:25-ish, we'll roll over to the NFL competition. Not really competition, but prize that we have going on. Like I said, I'm going to let Patrick, Hodge, and Kevin explain that to you guys a little bit later because they were talking back and forth about it a little bit more and can explain it a little bit better. But for this session right here, I kind of want to take this microphone and I want to throw it over to my man Patrick Hodge because this is his session. This is where he thrives right here, and that's talking about MLB in general. It's Major League Baseball, and also we have Kevin Dixon on the line, like I said, who is also going to be very knowledgeable in this baseball conversation. Lou is out there as well. Feel free to chime in when you feel necessary. And also, I think Matt Sandy out there. Feel free to chime in. I'm going to try to call upon you guys as we're rolling here and get everybody involved the whole time. So, Patrick Hodge, I got one rule for you before I pass you this mic and let you go on a little MLB time. All right. If you come at my Yankees one time,
yes, sir,
I'm through this screen. I'm gonna rip that hat off your head. You leave my squad alone.
I think you understand. I think you understand when it comes to baseball. It's 162 games, and everybody's going to say something about the Yankees. This guy's not going to. Good friend of mine made a post earlier, Eric German. I believe the last time the Yankees started out this slow, they ended up winning 100+ games. I think they won the World Series. So, you guys that are going to take the shots at the evil empire might want to check your history and really do some things. Listen, the MLB rocky starts, man. I was wondering where you were going with that when you sent that to me because I was like, wait, MLB's been pretty exciting from the games I've seen, but here's going to be the thing. All right, so we had 2 no-hitters take place, right, so far. Great stuff. But now we're running into COVID issues, right? Minnesota Twins, right? Couple games postponed. This is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. I'm really not surprised that anyone so far, right, coming out hot or coming out slow. I think a lot of teams are still recovering from last year's COVID experience. Like, I think the MLB made a mistake by not having the DH. I don't like the DH in the NL. You know that, right? I'm a purist. I think the AL should keep the DH and the NL the pitcher hit. But I think this year they should have had the universal DH because you didn't have pitchers hitting last year, and now you're asking them to go back and do something that they didn't do for a whole year with that pandemic. Or maybe they should have had some type of rule to where, I don't know if it was like half the season where it's a universal DH and then you flip back, or I don't know. Or when you do the interleague play, maybe it could just be a DH then, like in both ballparks, right? Because I really think that you're going to see some injuries from pitchers trying to hit, whether it's hitting, and then I think the MLB missed a boat there. Rocky starts, man. It's week 1. I think like the Mets couldn't even play for like the first couple of days, right? They had to sit out because Washington Nationals had COVID. But seeing the Mets up close twice, if they stay healthy, man, that pitching they have is pretty good. Right. And I told people in the offseason when everybody was saying that this team had the best pitching staff or this team had the best pitching staff, I still like the Nationals pitching staff as a whole, right? That top 3, I would put their top 3 against anyone's, right? Oh, because everybody was saying the Padres had the best starters, right? But listen, let's be clear on one thing right now. The best pitcher in MLB, hands down, resides in Queens, right? Jacob deGrom is the best thing going on the mound right now. It's not even close right now. How dominant he is, how filthy he is, how nasty he is, and just how damn good he is.
Shame he plays.
And then you're probably going to have to go to the other side of New York. Nah. Garrett Cole can't hold DeGrom's jockstrap right now, man. He might make a lot more money But he's not the better pitcher. But he's probably the next one, right? They probably won too. And your boy, man, look at what your boy did today. Your guy, Aaron Nola, complete game 2-hit shutout, man. Listen, as much as we like to rag on this team, and we always say this about any other sport, right? Until someone beats the Dodgers, that's who it is, right? And they just keep going, man. They just keep going. Like, they're injured. I don't know if Dave Roberts is a top-notch manager. I really don't. Like, I don't know if Dave Roberts would have the success anywhere else that he's experiencing in LA. And he's had his failures in LA. So, he has to get all the credit in the world for keeping that team in it every year. But they just keep going, man. Like who's beating them? Like, seriously. Everybody wants to put the Padres up there. The Padres, nah. When it comes to baseball is one of the ultimate team sports, right? And it's all about the way that you handle business, right? You're sitting on a team that has 27, 28 championships, right? Never in those 27, 28 championships did they brag, that they do these egregious bat flips, that they have all this nonsense that goes with them, right? They went out there. I'm being dead serious, right? And I told you this last year, right? As much fun as a bat flip is during the game, that kind of mentality, attitude is not going to bring you a championship, right? And until you learn how to play as a team, win and lose as a team, and go through that, they're not going to experience anything, right? We listen. We were calling the Dodgers the biggest choke artists of the last couple of years, right? Because they can win the regular season, get to the playoffs, get to the World Series, and not bring it home. Right?
Oh yeah. Now it's the Braves. Now the Braves.
You can't say that about them right now. Yeah. See, and you know what? I couldn't have set that up any better, because that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. Right? If you transition over to Atlanta, they got all the talent in the world, right? And they, as much talent as they have, as much swag as they have, and until they leave that swag to the left and bring it out at the appropriate time and just play, they're gonna falter too, And you talking about a rocky start.
That's
wow. 2 years in a row getting swept by Philly. But they last place right now in the NL East, man. That's not. Listen, that division is gonna be a beast, right? Because I don't know if there's really one team that's really head and shoulders above. There might be a team that's head. Like, I would give the Braves the edge because they won it last year. But the Mets are right there with that pitching and their offense, man. If the Mets are going to be scary. That's all I can say. I think the only thing that's going to hold the Mets back this year is health. I think Philly's going to be in there. I think because they have enough talent to stay in it. I don't know if they have enough talent to win anything because they still need pitching. The Marlins, they're scrappy. They're not as bad. They're not the Marlins of 5 years ago. Let's say that.
Right. They're not the Marlins of old. They're a young up and coming team that has a lot of youth on their squad, a lot of young bats, they have a lot of youth in pitching.
Very much so.
Miami's always done bad in the past. They traded their youth. This time it seems like they're trying to keep their youth together and actually see what they realistically, if you look around the league right now, you see all-stars and MVPs that came from Miami originally. And then, all around the league right now, I was surprised that Miami just kind of let go. Real quick, I want to get Lou in there because it sounded like he was trying to say something earlier. Lou, what'd you have on the topic?
All right, well, I've seen slow starts before, especially for the Yankees. Okay, now, think back to the 98 season when they started off 1-4. And everybody was really writing them off and whatnot. And like, oh, please, you're going to run off already? We play 162 games a year, and you're going to give up for them after 5 games? No. Slow starts are nothing new, even for good teams. And to make this even more interesting, when they were like this before in the 97 season, they still made the playoffs anyway. I think they surged. So
they win the World Series in 97.
It's not uncommon to see this happen, where a team starts out, in the first 2 weeks, 1-6, 2-5, whatever, and the fans already write them off. You don't do that. Long season like that is nothing. It's just a drop in the bucket. And if you do think you can give a break, you're not really a real fan of the team. So cut some slack a little bit. I mean, it's not like it's July and we're 19 and a half games out and don't have a prayer. I mean, really, any team can bounce back from
Leave my man alone.
2 weeks in the season. It is far from over. So don't hit the now, please.
You leave my man alone. You leave my man Aaron Boone alone. It's still early in the season, Patrick Hodge. Listen.
I'm not leaving.
No, I was talking to you. I was talking to Mr. Patrick Hodge, who's asking if the Yankees have an Aaron Boone problem. They didn't have an Aaron Boone problem the last 2 years. Is all I'm saying. They still got cheated out of a championship in 2019 by the Houston Cheaters, who are still banging away at that trash can. So I don't want to hear that they have an Aaron Boone problem, because Aaron Boone is not the problem right now. The problem with the Yankees ultimately is after their number one pitcher in Jarrett Cole, you don't know who they have. You can't name anybody in their pitching rotation outside of Jarrett Cole, and they're trying to constantly out-bat people. That's not going to win in the MLB. That's not an Aaron Boone problem. That would be a Cashman problem, all right? Anyways, I want to go over to the man, Mr. Kevin Dixon here, because we were talking about his Dodgers a lot. And let's be real, his Dodgers have gotten a lot of scrutiny up until last year when they finally won. Kev, you still out there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, man, I need to know your personal opinion here is I'm not going to ask you how the Dodgers could possibly repeat, because I think they're the clear favorites to repeat, but how could they lose is the question I want to ask you.
I think what the Dodgers need to do is have some motivation to want to repeat. And watching them play the Padres last night, and they got into a little altercation there about the bat and the glove and things like that. And I think they need that, because they've always won the West. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the Padres is going to be a good team to watch. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch. I think the Padres is built to try to beat the Dodgers when they should be trying to beat everybody. I think that's an issue with the Padres right now. But watching the Dodgers play, in the games that I watched them play, they won some close games. In the games that they lost, like they lost today, I didn't get a chance to watch that game. But the other 2 games they lost had something to do with the pitching later in the inning. And I think that's going to be I think that's not a problem with the Dodgers, but I think that's going to be a problem with every team, because we don't allow our starting pitchers to go past 6, maybe 7 innings, because it's all about analytics. And sometimes I think that you should allow your pitcher, if he's pitching good, to finish the game sometimes. Let them. Maybe you do lose a game behind that, but now you know his limitations. Baseball has became more about analytics than anything else, and I personally don't like analytics, because I think that at some point in time your heart takes over, and you may do something completely different than you usually do, and you got the manager scratching his head. Well, he wasn't supposed to hit the ball that way, but he did. You know what I'm saying? So what I need from the Dodgers, though, they need to have a reason to want to win another World Series. Okay, they need some pressure on them to win another World Series. I don't want it to come too easy for them, because they do have a good team, and Cody Bellinger just got hurt. He had a stress fracture or something like that, right? And they basically didn't lose a step. Now I'm gonna say this. I think by them letting what's the name go to the Cubs, I think that was a mistake. Letting it slips my mind. The young boy that they tried to trade him last year, and he didn't. The trade didn't go through. I can't think of his name right now, but he ended up going to the Cubs, and he's playing really good baseball with the Cubs. But I think that I think you still keep him around, because that puts pressure on the outfielders to play the best baseball you can. I think when you have guys behind you, as a starter, and you have guys behind you that you say, okay, well, you can take a day off. This guy's going to step in, and you don't lose anything. And that guy was like, man, this guy's playing so well. They may end up trading me. But that puts pressure on the whole team to perform. And I see that with the Dodgers more so than anything else. But again, I think with the Dodgers, what they have to do is they need to find something to motivate them to play better baseball than they played last year. Because if they think that it's just going to be given to them, then and if it happens that way, I think they don't win the World Series.
So Kev, I want to touch back on something you said there that I really, really liked. And you said we were talking about analytics, and you're saying how you don't like analytics. Well, man, I agree with you. I don't like analytics all the time. I think analytics help to a certain degree, but what analytics don't do is know the feel of a baseball game. So I think my man to my right here, or my left over here on the screens, my man to my left here can attest to a coach that was in love with analytics too much in his last coach, Gabe Kapler, and it seems like his current coach right now is kind of falling more and more in love with analytics. You see it a lot when they do it a lot with pitching, like you mentioned earlier, where a guy will be at 70-something pitches, but since he's already seen the lineup 3 times, they call it an accident, which I don't understand. I don't care if you've seen a lineup 9 times. If they're not hitting you, they're not hitting you. Doesn't matter how many times you see a lineup. If they're not hitting you, they're not hitting you. So what does it matter? But then people say, well, the analytics say after the 3rd time through, it's more. That's cool. But if you have a hot pitcher, you ride the hot pitcher. It's the same as in NHL. When you have a hot goalie, you ride the hot goalie. Nothing changes. You keep riding that hot hand.
Great analogy.
Every single sport. That's something analytics won't show you. And it's something I agree with you on completely, and I believe that Patrick Hodge agrees with me as well. I'm going to pass it to Patrick Hodge to give some closing remarks, and then I want to move on to another topic before we get to the which should be a quicker topic on the NBA. Patrick, got anything else you want to say on this?
Yeah. No, I think you guys have hit the nail right on the head. I think that we know that baseball season is a marathon. We know 162 games means a lot, and we always go back and forth about how every game does matter, and it does. But one thing I will say about the MLB that's been awful is the umpires. The umpires need to do a better job. Replay officials need to do a better job. There have been so many missed calls so early in this season, it is ridiculous. As far as analytics, I'm not a real big fan of the analytics. I think have a place, but you're seeing a lot more guys get messed up on analytics than helping, in my opinion, right? The launch angle swing came in, everybody was hitting home runs. Now they changed the ball. Now you got guys being sent down in the minors or being held out of lineups because now they need to fix their swing because the launch angle isn't working, right? And you hit the nail on the head when you talk about the pitching. Now people want to get Tommy John surgery like it's going in for a nose job. I'll say this for you. I typed it, and I'll say this to you, and this should lead you right. Yeah, you following me. I'll say this to you, so this should lead you right into your next topic, right? Analytics has ruined. Well, analytics is not helping the MLB, just like load management is not helping the NBA.
And I agree. And it's gonna. Oh no, I lost my spot. Where'd you go? Bear with me here. There we go. Before we touch the next topic, Hodge Podge Sports Show is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? And Patrick Hodge kind of led us into our next topic, which is load management. Is it ruining the NBA? And again, this is going to be a topic I want us all involved in. I'm going to reference one game that we all saw, we all should have wanted to see on Tuesday or Wednesday. It was Tuesday night or Wednesday night, which was the Philadelphia 76ers, number one team in the East versus the Brooklyn Nets, number one team in the East. Why were they both number one? Because they were tied at the present time. And what happened? Kevin Durant played the night before, so they decided they were going to sit him that night. James Harden was already out of the lineup that night. Kyrie Irving was up in the air up until game time. So now you had a game which should have been a game that ratings were through the roof, that had plenty of interest because of the number one seed alone. but somehow, for some reason, load management got us again, boys. And I've had enough of it personally. There's been too many times this year that I turned on a game to want to watch I'm just trying to think of it, the most recent example that's not the Sixers, where I've turned on a Clippers game and Kawhi Leonard's not playing just for rest. How many times do I have to see this where I want to spectate a game for a certain player, and instead of seeing that certain player, I'm seeing him in street clothes on the bench because of load management. And then the worst is it's a nationally televised game, so they're not only hurting me as a fan, they're probably hurting the ratings as well. Because the second somebody tunes into a game, let's say it's the Warriors versus the Lakers, and you have Curry, LeBron, and AD all on rest. Who's staying on ESPN or TNT or whatever program you're running to watch that? I'm not. And the Spurs got fined $25K. Let's be real. What player on the Spurs do I really want to watch play? Spurs don't have anybody worth watching. Give me DeMar DeRozan once a month. I want to watch him. Give me maybe Dejounte Murray every once in a blue. I don't care to watch the Spurs play. The Spurs are just not that good of a team. I don't want to watch anybody on the Spurs. Nobody's fascinated by mid-range DeMar DeRozan. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch Luka Doncic. Somebody. I'm sorry, I don't want to watch DeRozan. I'm not my time. Come on.
But listen, didn't San Antonio invent load management? Didn't they start that?
Yeah, they started with Tim Duncan and Tony Parker way back in the day. That doesn't make it right. And they don't have Tim Duncan or Tony Parker anymore. They don't have the greatest power forward of all time anymore. They have mid-range DeRozan and sometimes going to play Murray. That's who they have right now. I don't want to watch them. They do not appeal to me. Give me Phoenix. Give me Utah. Give me the Sixers. Shit, give me the Celtics. I want nothing to do with that team. They are so boring. So insanely boring to watch. You know what that's a Greg Popovich team, right? Greg Popovich are always fundamental and boring. But I am not watching them. You guys want to watch them and have fun. I want some excitement in my life. So I'm gonna again.
So you said San Antonio's not giving you any excitement.
I'm gonna start this off. I'm gonna pass the mic to Kevin Dixon. I'm gonna let him ride with this one, and I want your opinion on load management and is it ruining the NBA?
When the Spurs, I'm gonna tell you when it all started. Is when the Spurs went and said Tim Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker to go play the Sixers. They couldn't even get on the plane. They said you're staying home. And I said to my friend who Kenny Robb, who's a Spurs fan, he said, Kev, I'm a little pissed off about this. He said, because I'm a Spurs fan, the only time I get to see him play, when they come to Philly. He said, but Tim Duncan's not coming. He said, Ginobili's not coming, and Parker's not coming. I said, well, he's doing load management, which at that time I kept telling people, I said, yo, this is going to ruin the NBA. The only reason why load management is not that big of a deal right now is because we don't have fans in the stands. So as a fan, you're going to get upset, but you're not going to be upset. They already got the money for the TV ratings, so then they're good. So the NBA is good. You know what I'm saying? So they're okay with that.
But there are fans in the stand now, Kev. There are fans in the stands.
Right, but there are, but it's not like a full stadium.
Yeah, you're right.
If you had a full stadium, then I mean it's really then that's when you can really sit back and say, yo, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? But when you got 2,300 fans in the stand, that's not a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a friend of mine told me the other day, his son's a Sixers fan. They went to Boston to see Philly play in Boston. And his son said, I had a good time up there. And I said, he went all the way to Philly. He went all the way to Boston. He said, yeah. I said, he got tickets to go to the game. He said, yeah. I said, that's kind of strange because they were telling people that only people could get tickets actually was
frontline workers,
ticket holders. Now, somebody might have sold the tickets to them guys to watch the game. But I think that's the only reason why low management can get a pass this year because we don't have full stadiums. I don't agree with it. I never agree with it. And I'm gonna tell you how you fix low management. So when you got a player that doesn't want to play in a back-to-back, then what you do as the NBA, like in baseball, when a guy's injured, he's gone for 11 days, 14 days. You do the same thing to the NBA. Say, okay, well, you put him on low management. He can't play from this game to that game. They're like, hold on, wait a minute. But we need him play. No. He can't play. If he can't play in this game that's going to be nationally televised, then he can't play in this game that matters in his division. And if you do that, that changes the whole load management situation because now the team has to sit down and think about, okay, if we want this guy not to play this game, can we force him not to play in this game, this game, this game, this game? They're like, no, well, he got to play. It's simple as that. That's how you eliminate that load management situation because you get your guys get rest, but you're gonna get a penalty. You're gonna get penalized because now he can't play in 4 out of the next 5 games because you want a load management on a game that nationally televised, which is not fair to the fans who want to watch the game.
So what's stopping the team from lying and just saying it's an ankle sprain?
Well, I mean, but you can do an ankle sprain, but that means he misses that game. He misses the next 4. He misses the next 4 out of 5 games.
But what if
he play in that week?
But what if a player legitimately has an ankle sprain? Because most ankle sprains you can be out 3-4 days with and you're good. If you have 2 games in 5 days, the first game you may miss. If you get that ankle sprain the day of the one, you miss the one game, you're back the next one. So why? Listen, listen, Kevin. I completely support what you're trying to do. I just don't think what you're saying is going to work because, like I said, a team can easily lie like he's got an ankle sprain tonight, he can't go. He's got a sore knee, he can't go. All those things can heal. It's what irritates me is when they write on the thing rest. That's what gets me more than anything. Because Kawhi's literally said rest on it. It literally the words rest. Are you kidding me? Rest. Right, you were knocked out in the second round of the playoffs. You didn't go through the bubble. You didn't have that grind. I don't want to hear it. So, listen, I understand what you're trying to do, Kevin. I from a fan standpoint, but I also want to touch back to one more thing. I'm going to pass it to Patrick and let him finish this off, and we're going to get to the NFL thing. So you said that there's only like 4,000 or 5,000 people going. I got a quick little story. Every year, me and my oldest son Logan go to a basketball game. This will be on our first year, unfortunately, not going to a Sixers game together because of COVID, and we were kind of strict with it and whatnot. But for let's S's and giggles, I looked up prices for tickets as they were on sale. I you not, no joke. It was $600 for a pair of tickets. I put my phone down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I put the phone down and said, "I'm good. I don't need it. I don't need it that bad. I'm an 82 gamer from home. I'll watch all 72 from home. I'll be good. I don't need it that bad, man." I think it irks me more now because usually personally I'll go to like 8 to 12 games a year, and I'll take Logan to 2 or 3 of them, depending on the year. Yeah. Every game I've watched at home and seen the word rest underneath a player, it's hurt me. It's hurt me more and more. But go ahead, Patrick, you want to finish this topic off, and then we're gonna move on to you and Kevin kind of explain the NFL thing.
$600? Oh my
yeah. God. Well, listen. I've been asking you this question for as long as we've been on air together. We've been doing this for 2 years. We were together before that for 1 to 2 years. So 4 years at least, I've been asking you, what is load management? Remember, I think I even looked up the definition one time on the show, and we went through the definition of load management. I think I even had a chart. and everything. And you remember that? Remember that? Because I was like, I just don't understand what load management is.
To describe the words load management.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Right. You remember that? Yeah. I don't get it. I really don't understand how these highly trained athletes cannot play on back-to-back nights. We grew up watching these guys play back-to-back nights, never miss a game. The NBA was so much more physical back then, with the way that you would take contact, the hand checks, the hard fouls. Playoff basketball was a lot different than this era. And I know, it's hard to compare eras, but styles you can never take away. The NBA is becoming softer and softer and really harder to watch in some aspects, right? Like now you can't even foul someone without the referees reviewing it to see if it's a flagrant foul. No blood, let's just play, and then you got these guys just being able to take off work just because they're tired. I mean, man, can we do that? I mean, can we just take off because we're tired? Like we don't want to go back to backs. Hey, Mr. Manager, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like I'll be in, but I'm not. I'll be there, in the office, but I'm not doing anything today. I'm too tired. I'm gonna show up though, but I'm just not going. Yeah, I'm gonna leave my headset. I'm gonna sit here and let my colleague take all the phone calls. I'm gonna just sit here and support them. And what's funny about it is these guys are with the team, right? They're so tired, but they can be on the sideline. They could be standing up, cheering, running around, doing the little celebrations and all that. But they too tired to play. It's a sham. And how are you going to fine one team $25,000 for violating the rest rules? It's like you said. Who outside of San Antonio cares about San Antonio Spurs being fined $25,000 for violating? I mean, listen, the NFL plays 16 games, now going to a 17-game season, and you get fans calling like, okay, here's a perfect example, right? There was utter outrage on the way Doug Peterson handled the last game of the season, right? And yet we don't say much about the NBA players playing 1 out of every 3 games.
Nope.
But we wanted to kill Doug Peterson because he put a 4-string, 5th-string quarterback in pretty much of a meaningless game, right? So this is where we're at in a society with what it is we like, and that's why it always amazes me that basketball is so popular amongst fans. And I'll just say this, and then we'll keep it moving because it's already 30 here on the East Coast here. Mm-hmm. To me, it doesn't matter if there's one fan or if it's a full stadium. That one fan paid their money, whether it's $600 or whatever it is, to go see those teams play, and they're expecting the best product out there. So it's not fair to however many people are in attendance. It's not fair to them. And it's really not, and additionally, it's not fair to the millions that are watching on TV. Like it was amazing to me. The Sixers had 2 primetime games this week. Number 1 team in the East, probably the best team in the NBA right now. And you got 2 teams coming in, not bringing their players. Brooklyn is so strategic in what they're trying to do. They just feel like they're the better team. It doesn't matter if they have the number 1 seed or not. Why Kawhi Leonard didn't play on Friday is a mystery to me. He, from my knowledge, he isn't hurt or anything like that, but he had no problem coming back to play them when they were in LA when Embiid wasn't playing. You draw the conclusion there.
Very.
You know what I'm saying? Because when they went to LA, he was hurt, but all of a sudden he miraculously came back for that matchup. But now they're in Philly, Embiid's back and he's resting. I don't know. How I feel about that guy anyway.
Kevin Durant.
You know how I feel about that guy.
The Sixers have not seen Kevin Durant in the Nets uniform.
When he quit on the Spurs. Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, and he got hurt today, right? Like he left today's game with a thigh contusion, right? So
listen, because we all know James.
That's always a thing.
He plays. Yeah. The fact that he missed the game, that he's seriously hurt. He doesn't miss games. He hates missing games. He doesn't like that.
Yeah, he's hurt. Yeah, he doesn't miss games. Yeah,
But Kyrie,
the other guy, if he feels like playing, he's gonna play.
Kyrie's gonna have another psychiatric appointment next week to deal with his issues on the left finger or the right side of his toenail or whatever it is next week. And then Kevin Durant's gonna be whatever. Moving.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Yeah, it's a sham. It's always been a sham. It's going to continue to be a sham because your star players. And again, this is the problem with the NBA. And I'm glad that you and Kevin are listening to me. The problem with the NBA is that the players run the league. I say this every chance I get. That is the problem with the NBA. The players dictate what goes on in that league. And until you get a commissioner that reins in that power and gets it back, a la David Stern, then you're going to have this. Yes, money does play a big factor, Chuck Thomas. Money is a huge factor in all things NBA. There is no bigger money grab outside of the NCAA than the NBA when it comes to that. And that's a fact. I don't know if China runs the NBA. A lot of people feel that way. I don't get involved in that too much because I don't believe that to be true, but I think China is a big influence on some of the things that happen in the NBA. But I'm not going to say they run the NBA. I'm not going to go that far. But that being said, go ahead.
China doesn't do the NBA. Okay, so let's forget about all of that right there. What gets me though is you look back in history, you have what's the guard for Houston that had the drug problem? Calvin Murphy. He's playing the game with a helmet on. Okay. Then you look at Drew Henderson, who had a bad neck, had a neck brace on, and was still playing. So even though the NBA is different then than it is now, which is more softer than it is now, for these guys to come up with all these kind of reasons for not playing, it's not good for the NBA. And they're going to lose fans if they continue to do this because the fans that love the game are not going to go to the game.
No, they're not going to lose fans though. They haven't lost fans. That's the problem. Like this isn't new. Like this load management thing isn't new. They're not losing fans. They're gaining fans because the young generation doesn't care about load management.
The young generation's all about the load.
That's why you're seeing it more and more. Like, like they're not losing fans. I mean, the only people that care, Kevin, are people in our age bracket. People that really want to see the players play. The only people that get upset is when they go to the arena and find out that they paid so much money to see a player play that's not playing. That's the only time it matters. They're not losing fans. It's just like the NFL's not losing fans, man. We got people beating up women left and right in the NFL. They're not losing fans. Think about that for a second, man. We got a guy that almost beat a young lady to death and is barely mentioned. But DeShaun Watson's out here getting happy endings, and the story doesn't end. Think about that for a second. Let's just put that in perspective now. We had this guy for the Seattle Seahawks almost beat this girl to death. It gets a mention on ESPN. We don't touch that stuff here because of our personal feelings on it because it just opens up too many things, right? But then yet we can't go a day without hearing another accuser or another thing about Deshaun Watson. We're still talking about or not talking about the guy that retired from football. It goes back to the kicker with the Giants, man. I keep talking about that story about how he tormented his ex-wife for a year, right? And he got suspended for 4 games, and then they brought all this evidence about how he was at the Pro Bowl, how she had to have security to keep him away, and all the things that he did, all the mental abuse, all the physical abuse he put on her. And they finally suspended that man? You know, I'll ask this question and we'll go right into the NFL. And this is a rhetorical question. Why has DeShaun Watson not been put on the commissioner's NFL exempt list yet? But yet, when everybody was up in arms, right, yeah, when everybody was up in arms, when Adrian Peterson disciplined his son a certain way that everybody had a problem with, immediately placed on the commissioner's exempt list. Ray Rice couldn't even sniff a tryout after a video. Think about that for a second. Couldn't even sniff a tryout. Come on, man. And yet we let Antonio Brown back in the league. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, and I'm not attacking one certain player. I'm just attacking the circumstances. And so what I'm saying is, as we go in this, the NBA is not going to lose fans. They haven't lost fans. They're not going to lose fans. And I always want to talk about this because we got a special time coming up with the NFL draft getting ready to kick off on Thursday. And these young men, what example are they following, right? Like, again, how was Myles Garrett getting a contract extension and allowed to play in the NFL after he took his helmet off and tried to beat another player with a helmet? Like, I'm telling you, the things that we see that happen in sports really just don't make any sense to me. Like, make it make sense, right? So
I agree with you.
Wait. So Chuck Thomas, let me say this to you. I just got to respond to this, right? Chuck Thomas, the Ray Rice video was horrible, but so was the Kareem Hunt video. But Kareem Hunt's still playing. And the biggest difference in these situations is nothing on that video from Ray Rice was not known. Okay? Ray Rice told anybody and everybody that would listen exactly what happened. So when that video was shown, it was not a shock to the Baltimore Ravens. It was not a shock to the NFL. It was just a shock to the people that didn't know what happened. But yet, we can have Kareem Hunt just field goal kick a girl in a hotel lobby. He gets rewarded with a new contract, new team, right? So listen. Come on, seriously. Let's really think about some of these things that we respond to and what we say when we look at this without knowing what's happening. Because I can tell you firsthand that I watched my running back get suspended for 6 games when the NFL investigation cleared him. But yet DeShaun Watson's still out here, nothing. So, Kevin, let's go into this NFL. Let's talk about this contest that you want to run. Go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
So real quick before you do that,
Sean, go ahead.
Hodge Podge Sports Eats. Log on to the website, arenaeats.net, for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Our conversation ran longer than I thought it was going to. Thought the NBA one was going to be quick. Kevin Dixon, please explain the contest to everybody. I'm going to pass you the mic. Explain the contest to them, and for time's sake, Kevin and Patrick and I will do our picks for it as quickly as we can. But go ahead, Kevin, explain the contest to everybody.
Okay, so basically what the contest is that you have to pick the player from every position that's going to get drafted by certain teams. Okay, so we all know that Trevor Lawrence is going to be pretty much the number 1 drafted. Okay, so he's the first quarterback drafted. Okay, so we know that because it's quarterback driven, that the 2nd, 3rd, maybe the 4th pick may be quarterback driven. So now you got to look at the 5th pick and see who they're going to pick. Is it going to be a quarterback? Is it going to be a running back? Is it going to be a linebacker? Is it going to be whatever? So it's kind of easy because we're going to skip over teams that actually probably going to pick a player at the same position that's already been picked. And like I'm gonna give you for example, like my list I have right now. Okay, let me pull it up real quick. I had to open it. See, out of 32 teams, right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got about 9 teams that going to pick. I think the first player at quarterback, tight end, wide receiver, tackle, cornerback, edge, D-line, linebacker, and safety. Now, if you want to throw long snapper in there, that's fine. You want to throw a punter in there, that's fine. You want to throw a kicker in there, that's fine. But I don't think we're going to see a punter or a kicker get drafted in the first round.
I understand.
Okay, so So now what happens here, like say for example, let's say for example, there's a trade, okay, at number 8. But you have a player that you picked at number 8, and he may not be picked by that team, but they trade and make a trade, and that team trades for that player at number 8. You're gonna get half a point because you got the player right, but you got the team wrong. We can't control who the trade, so we're gonna give you half a point for that right there. So basically, what it is that you have to pick every position player that's going to be drafted first in every position.
Okay, I think I understand. So you're saying you're going to take the quarterback position. You're going to draft the first team that you think is going to take a quarterback, and you're going to name the quarterback. Then you're going to go. Let's just come for the sake of argument's sake. You're going to take the running back position. You're going to take the first team you think out of the first round that's going to take a running back. You're going to take the running back. Let's just say it's the Saints. You're going to take the running back at the Saints pick and whatever running back they take. Then so on and so forth all the way down.
Right. Now, give me for example, like with my pick, I got Jacksonville Jaguars going with Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
So 2 and 3, what we're seeing and what we're hearing is that there's going to be quarterback.
Yep.
So we go to the Falcons. Who, for everything I'm seeing, they don't know what the heck they're doing. But let's say the Falcons takes the tight end Kyle Pitts. So he's the first tight end that's going to be picked off the board.
Uh-huh.
So now there may be Falcon fans. There may be some fans. No, they're not going to take Kyle Pitts. They may take a guard. But if they take a quarterback, like say Justin Fields, it doesn't really matter because we already had that one quarterback gone.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
All right, I understand it. Patrick, do you understand it?
I do.
All righty. So let's do this for – go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say for argument's sake,
Go ahead.
Let's get this ball rolling because we said what we're going to do. We're going to do some picks today, and then we're going to do some picks tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, we can go to 10 because I see y'all got.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So let's take 10 and we'll do the rest tomorrow on my show.
Got you.
I'm gonna say my first pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars is gonna be Trevor Lawrence. That's the quarterback pick. So any other quarterback don't really matter at that point.
Absolutely.
So do you guys agree?
Yeah, I do. That's obvious. Yep.
Yep.
That's a rousing yes all the way around.
Okay, so number 2. Who picked at number 2?
Jets. I got it in front of me. It's
good.
Jets, then San Francisco.
So do you guys agree that there's gonna be a quarterback being picked in that slot?
I do.
Yep.
Patrick? Okay, number 3.
Yes.
Number
3.
Number 3, San Francisco.
Do we think they're gonna pick a quarterback at number 3?
That's where it gets tricky. And that's where the question really lies.
Yes.
See, now
Yeah.
you got see that's So now 3, I think they still pick a quarterback.
So I'm leaning that way as well, and I think Patrick said yes. So that brings us to the 4th.
Number 4 is going to be a quarterback too.
Number 4 is Atlanta.
Quarterback.
I'm saying they're gonna take. I think they're gonna take tight end Kyle Pitts.
That'd be. And Patrick says it's going to be a quarterback. I'm riding with Patrick on this. So I'm riding with you, man.
Is Matt Sandy? Is Matt Sandy on the line? That's Matt Sandy. What the 4 picks going to be?
I think I know he's going to say Trey Lance.
I think the Falcons will pick up the wide receiver from Alabama, Devontae Smith.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Funny.
Chuck.
Funny though.
Thomas. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Go ahead, son.
So it's funny now because the next pick after that is the Cincinnati Bengals. And that's where I think I'm sorry, Kev. I'm gonna start this one off. I think that it's gonna be the wide receiver out of LSU to reunite Joe Burrow with him.
My man.
Same thought as me. Listen, this is why we do the show together. Go ahead, Kev.
My man. My man.
Chase,
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jamar Chase. That's why I had the number 5.
okay, Jamar Chase at LSU, wide receiver.
So who we got at 6?
6 is Miami.
So what is Miami gonna do?
I think they're taking a quarterback, to be honest.
Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts.
All right, I'm gonna ride with Patrick here because, like I said,
Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts.
He's saying Kyle Pitts at 6, tight end.
Okay, so now we go to number 7.
Number 7's
I got them picking a tackle. With the Penny Sewell.
You know what?
Sewell from Oregon.
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Oh, go ahead. Who do you think?
Don't you do it.
Who do you think first? And I'll tell you what.
No. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go. But don't you do it. All right. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Last I checked, Detroit just traded their cornerback, right? I think they're going to take Patrick Surtain.
Oh my God! Uh-oh.
I think they're going to take Patrick Surtain.
I told you don't do it.
Dude, I think they're going to trade Surtain at 7, man. It makes sense. They don't have a quarterback. He's supposed to be the best quarterback in the draft. I know you want him in Dallas. I wanted him in Philly. I know.
No, that's not it. I'm gonna say this to you: Detroit is going quarterback. That's where Justin Fields is going to go to Detroit.
Okay, listen,
that's what I wanted you to say.
You think they're going to? If you think he's going to try, I'm gonna trust.
But I'm not mad. But I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you though, because your pick makes a lot of sense. Your pick makes a lot of sense.
So you want to rock with mine, or go stay quarterback and stay away from me?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. No, I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with you. Okay. I don't think that's what they should do. I think they should take the other offensive lineman, but Surtain's not a bad pick at all right there.
Number 8 is Carolina.
Yeah.
What they picking?
8's Carolina, and I think they're taking a quarterback.
There you go. Number 9. Number 8.
Hold on, I gotta do this with Patrick, but we're a team here. We're a squad, bro. I don't think they trust Bridgewater. I think that's clear. Just as it's clear as the Eagles don't.
I agree with you.
Well, Carolina got.
I agree with you that they don't trust Bridgewater, but they pretty much have picked up Sam Darnold's 5th-year option, and I do believe they believe in Sam Darnold. And I think they got to go offensive line. I think they take Rashawn Slater at 8. I think they take the offensive tackle from Northwestern at 8.
Okay. Wow. And the next number 9's Denver, and this is interesting. Then, if I'm going off of what Patrick's saying here, number 9's Denver, and if we're going that Carolina did not take a quarterback, then Denver has to take a quarterback because there's no chance in hell they trust Drew Lock a little bit. And if they're not taking, listen, it doesn't. So I don't think there's not a doubt in my mind. If we're going off of what me and Patrick are going back and forth with, Denver's taking a quarterback. They're taking Mac Jones or Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Well, okay. So now let's go to number 10.
That's what's going to screw me because I had Patrick Surtain going so early, and since the Cowboys need a cornerback, I got to go J.C. Horn, right? I got to go J.C. Horn, quarterback, South Carolina.
Wide receiver?
No. J.C. Horn, cornerback, South Carolina. Patrick got shaking his head because I know he likes it.
Joe Horn's son. Yeah.
Well, I had Surtain going earlier.
So that's our 10 right here.
I'm gonna put it to you like this. I know who's not going there. I know who's not going there. And this for anybody that's listening to me, Dallas Cowboys are not taking Micah Parsons with the number 10 pick.
Nope. Micah Parsons needs to sit back and stay there until number 12 for me. That's all I want in my life is him to be there at number 12. He is not going at number 10. In all honesty,
If Surtain is not there at 10, if Surtain is not there at 10, Dallas will trade that pick to the New England Patriots. The Patriots will select a quarterback at number 10.
Okay.
But for this show, we're going with J.C. Horn.
So hold on. So do we got time to do 11? Who's 11?
11's the Giants. What's the last one we're going to do for the night? 11's the Giants. And if I'm being honest and I'm being unbiased, it would make sense for the Giants to take my guy, Micah Parsons, and make me cry and be very upset with my life. Patrick, do you agree?
No, I think they go wide receiver.
All right, I'm taking that one. They're going wide receiver. Go with that. Go wide receiver.
I think they're taking Waddle or Devontae Smith.
Let's
Absolutely.
Go.
I think that's where they go. Because Saquon Barkley's not going to be there for 17 games. You need to get Daniel Jones. Looks like he is going to be the real deal. Get him another wide receiver because you're going to have to score points, right? You're going to have to score points to keep up with Dallas. You're going to have to put some points on the board to beat Washington. Get your another wide receiver. They really don't have a wide receiver. If you think about it, they really don't have a wide receiver. They have receivers, but they don't have a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? They don't seem to be in love with Ingram anymore. They signed Galladay, but come on. Like, who is he scaring? Really? Like, they need a guy. Sleep on him all you want to. Let him play 17 games, and then let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Hey, man. So, Kevin, what time tomorrow so we can pick up on number 12, which would be the Philadelphia Eagles on the clock?
Oh, God.
So we show tomorrow from 7 to 9. Okay. So what I need from everybody is to inbox Patrick or Sean their list of players, the team, the team, the position, and the team, the position, and the name. If we're going to do a spreadsheet, I'll have it ready by 7 o'clock. Well, actually, I have it ready before the draft. I'm gonna post it on the page, on our page and their page. Whoever comes close to having the correct numbers of picks gets $200 worth of gear from In the Zone, $100 worth of gear from Hodge Podge.
Yep. All right. Well, everybody's heard it now. You're gonna get a bunch of gear for this. Remember, it's the first position taken. So if you take a quarterback at 1, you have no sense in putting a quarterback again. You're looking for the next position that's going to get taken. You need the position and the player. All right? Patrick, I do not have the outro set up to go. Do you?
It's all right. I do not, sir. Let's just get up on out of here.
Get up on out of here. Everybody have a wonderful night. Make sure we get on everybody hop on over to End the Zone or Just Us Sports Talk tomorrow to catch us over there as we go run through this list with Kevin Dixon to finish it off. Everybody have a good night, blessed night, and have a wonderful week.
Good night, everybody.